Fun 101. The last few videos that I've made have been pretty heavy going. They've been hard work, requiring a lot of research. They've been quite long videos as well. And some of the topics that I've covered have been quite intense too. Now, I'm not sure that that's the order that I've posted these in, so you may not have seen them in that order. I may have interspersed some lighter ones in between the heavy ones, if you like. But certainly for me, in terms of recording these videos, it's been a series of quite heavy and difficult ones. So I thought maybe today I'd do something a little bit more light-hearted. And what could be more light-hearted than thinking about fun? So, of course, being the fun person that I am, the way to approach this question was actually to watch a video where someone is describing fun to me and explaining fun to me. Obviously, that's what you do. And there were three key elements that came out in that lecture about fun. They were playfulness, connection, and flow. And I thought, uh-oh, I definitely failed Fun 101. Fun is clearly not something that comes naturally to me. And if it's not something that comes naturally to me, I don't think there's any way that I can actually manufacture it. But let's look at each of these three elements on their own. And together, at their intersection, they apparently result in something called fun. The first is playfulness. I think I do have a capacity for playfulness. But as with many things in my life, this is often a solitary occupation. I remember as a child that I would spend most of my time alone, doing things that I enjoyed on my own, not necessarily with other people. As soon as you put other people into the equation, my playfulness tends to just disappear. Why is that? Because I'm always thinking that other people are judging me. And perhaps that's because I'm always judging them? I don't know. But somehow I feel exposed. If I'm in a public situation and I'm playful, I feel terribly exposed. And I have this terror of being exposed. I have a terror of being thought of as a fool. I have a terror of people laughing at me, not with me. I have a terror of people thinking I'm an idiot. And it's probably because at some level, maybe not so deep down within myself, I do think I'm an idiot. But on my own, I can be as playful as I want to be. It might have been playing with Lego or Meccano, or it might have been doing something I think I've described before in these videos. I used to spend hours as a child with a magnifying glass out on a piece of playing equipment which was made of large logs, and I would use the magnifying glass to burn designs, to burn my name, whatever it might be, into the wood. And I found that, well, I'm not sure that it actually quite fulfills the definition of fun in this lecture, but I found that enjoyable. Is that all right? I found it enjoyable. I had pleasure in those moments. I had pleasure in that experience. But I wouldn't want to be doing that in front of everybody. In fact, the privacy of that, the solitariness of that, probably added to the fun of that experience for me. I don't particularly enjoy playing party games. I find them tedious. I get embarrassed. I get too competitive. I do enjoy playfulness in conversation, but I'm not sure that the other person that I'm having the conversation with necessarily appreciates that or understands that. And they've probably come away from a conversation which I thought was playful, feeling devastated, broken, bombarded, hit by a hurricane. But it's clear from what I've already said that I have real difficulty with the second part of this process of having fun, and that is connection. Now, the lecturer did acknowledge that that could be connection to self or connection to the world in some way, but the emphasis was clearly on connection to other people. And this is where it really breaks down for me. As I've already described, being in the presence of other people, relaxing in the presence of other people, letting my hair down in the presence of other people, doing all those things that seem in the minds of most people to be associated with fun is a terrifying experience for me. How did this happen to me? I have no idea. I think my first inclination is to blame my parents, particularly my mother, that somehow having fun, being playful, enjoying myself was seen as some kind of frivolous behaviour, being childish. I have a feeling that in my childhood it was not okay to be a child. So I have enormous difficulty making connections with people on all sorts of levels. I often can make a connection with people on an intellectual level, and that for me is where the playfulness of a conversation can come in, and I can get very excited about a playful, what I perceive as a playful conversation, although the other person doesn't necessarily see it that way. The third aspect of fun, or that contributes to this experience that is supposedly fun, is something called flow. And this is also something very difficult for me. I think I know what they mean, at least intellectually, that you're really letting go of yourself and you're just flowing with the experience. You're literally letting yourself go. But letting myself go is something that I find extraordinarily difficult to do. Myself's always there, interfering with the process, nagging me about the process. Perhaps it's my ego. I'm not sure what part of my personality construct it is, but something is always there stopping me, preventing me from being in the flow. I find it very difficult to be fully present in any experience. There is always this enormous part of me that is stepping back or to the side and observing what's going on. And even in the most playful moments of my life, my experience is more in that observer than it is in the actual experience that I'm supposed to be having. So, once again, I clearly fail at Fun 101. I try to think back over my life about times when I've actually experienced what may be called fun. Maybe these things, this playfulness, connection, and flow, have come together. Probably connection is one of the most difficult ones because, as I say, having another person there watching my enjoyment, watching my fun, immediately puts out the fire. But one experience that did come to mind, and that was riding a roller coaster. The most terrifying roller coaster. This is many, many years ago now, and I was at a theme park on the Gold Coast here in Queensland with my family, my children, and we went on one of the biggest roller coasters that there was in that theme park. One of the most terrifying roller coasters that there was in the theme park. And I had what I can only assume is enormous fun. I loved the discomfort and the terror of being on that roller coaster. It was exhilarating. Now, is exhilaration the same thing as fun? I'm not sure. But I came away from that experience wanting to do it again. And in fact, I did do it again. I think I probably went on at least 2, maybe 3 times. The ride was one of those suspended roller coasters, which actually goes upside down and flips out to the side. All the most horrifying things you can imagine. But it was a 2-seater thing. And so I know I went on at least with both of my children in turn. I don't think my partner at the time would go on it. So I probably went on it twice, and maybe I went on it later again on my own. So that's one of the experiences of my life that jumps out at me as being absolute fun, while being absolutely terrifying and putting my body through all sorts of hell. That was fun. Okay, well, it seems that it was. I guess the other time that I've thought about having fun is, as I've mentioned before, in terms of conversations. I've sometimes come away from those experiences and I've said to myself, wow, that was fun. I maybe even have expressed it to the other person. Wow, that was fun. So I suppose that's the question, isn't it? Are there moments in my life when I've come away from and have been able to say with absolute sincerity, wow, that was fun? They're probably very few, but there are 1 or 2 that are there. When I'm on my own, there are certainly things that give me pleasure. Intellectual exploration gives me pleasure. Listening to music gives me pleasure. Watching a really good movie gives me pleasure, even if I'm in tears at the end of it. I'm not sure whether these are quite fun, but they're as important as fun. There are certainly moments in listening to music, moments in reading a book, moments in watching a movie when I have felt almost ecstasy. Certainly moments when I felt suspended outside of time. So perhaps fun isn't quite the right description for these things, but it's a bloody great experience. Maybe better than fun. I'm not sure there's much that could break down the walls that I build up between myself and other people in terms of having fun. I'm not sure there are many social situations where I would be able to relax, go with the flow, and be playful enough to actually experience what other people apparently experience in those situations and call fun. I think it's too late for me. I'm going to have to settle for these other things that give me not, if not fun, at least enjoyment, at least pleasure. I guess I kind of had fun making this video, as I do often have fun making these videos. It'd be nice to think that you had some fun watching them too.